All right, are we going? Are we going? Are we rolling? Yes, I think we are. Okay, so close up of the bookshelf has been requested. It's not a proper bookshelf. I need to probably should invest in one of those myself. A proper bookshelf for all of my books. Maybe invest some time in actually organizing the fuckers too, because they are way, way, way out of fucking order here. Just there's no rhyme nor reason to any of it, I guess, mostly. Um, so you can, I'm sorry for the mess. I do need to clean up in here. I don't know if you can tell, those are both Larry Niven books, but they're also in that there. So there is that. Yeah. So I like to read. I've been reading most of my life. It's one of my favorite activities. I always have a book on me. I usually always have a book on me. If I'm ever anywhere, gotta make sure to have something to keep myself amused, entertained. Um, these here, yeah, let's get a good shot. The year's best science fiction. This is the 15th annual collection, edited by Gardner Dozois. If I'm saying that right, I hope I am. Here's another one. Here, the 21st, and then the 16th is here. I actually really liked these. When I first started getting really heavily into like contemporary modern science fiction, like when I stopped reading just the Golden Age. I hate that term, it's such a dumb term. But anyways, it's really the golden age, if anything, is going to be when you first started getting into it and it was all, exciting and new and you hadn't seen every fucking trope a billion times over. That's going to be your golden age. So the idea seems kind of silly to me. However, I do understand it, I guess. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I've started reading these are my big like introduction to literary science fiction, like contemporary literary science fiction. We're through uh specifically the 15th and 16th annual collections, which would be this one and that one over there. Um those are the ones that really, really got me reading contemporary science fiction and just I was like a teenager, got like 13, 14, 12, I don't know. Anyways, got into it and it was really cool. It took me to places I never knew existed. Well, they don't, but I mean, in the head and all of that. There's some Hemingway. I do love me some Hemingway. Hemingway is one of, if not my most favorite author. I love Hemingway. The man had a way with words. Like he knew how to say what would take other authors, paragraphs in just a few short, sentences, maybe at most three sentences, sort of thing. He had a way with words like that. It was really great. Plus, he really got it too. One of my stand-up jokes is based around his short story, a very short story, funny enough. And yeah, go this way, baby. Yeah, there we go. And basically, what was the joke? It's like Hemingway said. Some guys get a happy ending. The rest of us just get the clap from the shop girl at Macy's. And that was basically like, at the time, that was when I initially read that when I was much younger. That was my takeaway from that story. I'll have to revisit it at some point. It's not very long. It is, in fact, a very short story. And see if that hasn't changed, because a lot of, like, what I get out of books these days has changed a lot. Like, it's not quite the same thing that I got off of, like, everything, or they got when I was a kid. Especially, Catcher in the Rye, you see that over there. I like the book. I want to like the book. I kind of like the book, but God, I can't stand Holden Caulfield. And of course, we gotta have Star Trek books and Chuck Palahniuk. This one here, this is, where are we? Here we are. This is Rant. This one here, yeah, that's my favorite of his. It's done in the style of like a fucking, like an oral history. And it's all about this guy who spreads rabies and intentionally crashes cars into other cars who are also trying to intentionally crash their cars into other cars. And here's the great book of Amber. Love the Amber books. Always did love Amber. I first read this, god damn, like almost a decade ago. And this is one of my favorite series, and of course this is my favorite series here, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. God, love Douglas Adams, always have. He's been one of my favorite writers since I first read Hitchhiker all the way back in the late 90s. And hey, Cory Doctorow, Walk Away. This is really good. This was interesting for me because it's one of the rare books that I have that could be described as utopian. I don't usually do with the utopian stuff, actually. Oh, and here we have some more Hemingway. Green Hills of Africa. Got some Philip K. Dick there for you. The Motorcycle Diaries by Che Guevara. Uh, what do you expect, all right? I am who I am, and I like that sort of stuff. Anyways, there's also like The Martian Chronicles by Bradbury. In the bathroom is a different one. The Illustrated Man, as well as Fahrenheit 451, I think. Some Octavia Butler in there, some Cormac McCarthy, Dry is really dumb. I didn't really appreciate that book so much. I don't know, the narrator, the guy writing it, because it's supposed to be like autobiographical, and the guy writing was just kind of a pompous ass, in my opinion. I didn't care for it that much, which it's very rare that you'll find me say anything bad about a book, seriously, I love every book. I've only met a couple of books I didn't love. Oh, of course, you gotta have Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Gotta. Come on now. What weirdo is complete without or what freak or weirdo or whatever would be complete without a copy of Fear and Loathing? And there's more Hunter S. Thompson. There we go. Over here as well, this Kingdom of Fear. Oh shit, there was more, wasn't there? I know I have more. Where did you? Oh, over here. We go. Yep, the Hell's Angels. And the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. Some more Philip K. Dick. I love Philip K. Dick. He's another one of my favorites. I love Haruki Murakami. Oh, gotta love Murakami. He's kind of like my impression of him, anyways, is like a science fiction Japanese Neil Gaiman type. That's how I would describe his writing, honestly. Speaking of Neil Gaiman, here we go. Hey, and here we go. Vert. This is an interesting one. Vert by Jeff Noon. It's a little more of a hallucination. How do I want to describe this shit? It's really it's a fucking weird book. Okay, it's a big fucking trip. All right, you get high by dipping these feathers in your mouth and sucking on them or something, and it sends you and your buddies into like some sort of weird VR thing. It's why it's called Vert, and it's a weird fucking book. You have to read it. And of course I love Trainspotting. I think that's the only book I've ever read that was written in a Scottish brogue. And A Clockwork Orange, gotta love that. I really do love the things that Burgess did with language. Here's two of the books in the Expanse series. I have the first three. So there's 2 and 3. Where's one? Oh, here's one. There we go. There it is. These are some good books. So I like the kind of like Ben Bova space opera epic sort of thing that these books have going for them, and that they're a lot harder in the science area than a lot of space opera type stories are. Oh, here's Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. I always kind of liked them together. Their books were all right. Here we have, the only fantasy book that I will admit to loving, The Lies of Locke Lamora. Well, the only one that's not Zelazny or Neil Gaiman or Terry Pratchett. Got some classics there. H.G. Wells, Time Machine, War of the Worlds. More Polinick, because I do love Polinick. More Philip K. Dick. Harlan Ellison, Philip Jose Farmer. Remix is kind of meh. It's not a bad story, but it's just sort of generic. But then over here we have Dashiell Hammett, which is not science fiction in any way, shape, or form, and Burning Chrome, which is definitely one of the best cyberpunk anthologies that I've ever read. And that's in no small part due to the fact that it's written by William Gibson. There's also like American Psycho, 1984. Is there another Star Trek book? There's Gatsby. I love Gatsby. These are, what are these? The Seeker and There Is an Empire. Okay, so yeah, I have a few of Jack McDevitt's books. I have some over here too, Oh, there's Mistborn. I haven't actually gotten into that yet. I need to, though. I really do. I keep meaning to. I keep getting distracted by other things, like Of Mice and Men or To Kill a Mockingbird. Here we are. It Can't Happen Here. I had to tape the cover because I got it from a little free library and it wasn't in the greatest of conditions when I got it. A couple of Doctor Who books. My fucking Mad paperbacks. I love these. The Mad magazine paperbacks. From like the 50s up to the late 80s, early 90s. It's stopping. Hold up.